Right, so when I was planning out rebuilds, this one was a no-brainer. If anything, this is probably the first rebuild on most people's minds, and that right now is Chelsea. After spending over £1 billion in the transfer market since Todd Bowley took over, this team is shocking. They've gone out there and tried to snap up as many wonder kids as humanly possible, put Pochettino in charge and just praying for the best. And that clearly just isn't working out as Chelsea are languishing in 14th right now in the table. So, I'm going to get myself in there and hopefully rebuild this team to restore them to their past glory. Now, first off was deciding our tactical vision, and considering some of the players Chelsea have, I think we're going to go with tiki-taka. Now, first things first, we need to take a look at the team and see what we could do to this squad. And after a little bit of playing around, this is the starting 11 that I've come up with to start this season. Now, this team outright, just from the get-go, is just far too big. There is 45 players on the books here at Chelsea, so I'm going to have to cut these squad numbers down massively. One thing I did stumble across when looking at the squad is the absolute disrespect towards Cole Palmer with this overall rating. I cannot believe they've only given him 67 overall. The saving light for us in this, though, has to be the fact that Christopher Nkunku isn't going to be injured in this save to start things off. So before we can make any signings, we need to get some of these players off the books. I think one of the ones that's the most noticeable is the fact that I've listed Thiago Silva. He's going to retire at the end of the season. And it just frees up space in the team for our other young centre-backs to get the game time. Now, one of the things I'm going to use for some of these rebuilds is the ability to use the scouts only. So all the players that we sign in this rebuild are going to be through the scouting system. Here we go then, 1st of January. Let's see how we've been getting on. We currently sit 9th in the league. This is not too much of a shock in terms of simulation. The problem is, again, with the Sims, though, 8 draws, man. All the draws, more draws than IKEA when it comes to drawing games. And Everton, how are Everton 5th? But we are not that far off from top 4, and that is the goal of this season. Now, with the window opening, hopefully we can make some big signings to fix the problem. And our biggest issue here that I can see is goals, definitely. Raheem Sterling is the top goal scorer this season. Nicholas Jackson's having an okay goal return. He's up by 2, and then Nkunku has only scored 5 with 3 assists. I really need more output from him. So for the first signing of this rebuild, then we've gone for Michael Alisi, someone who they were heavily linked to in real life. This young Englishman will be playing on the right wing for us. Him and Noni can rotate in that position, only 24 million. Next signing into the club is going to be a backup for Nicholas Jackson then. I've been watching quite a bit of Bundesliga football this season, and this man is on absolute fire. Victor Boniface is now a Chelsea player, and hopefully our future striker. The Nigerian looks very promising. And our third and final signing of the January transfer window is going to be Dani Olmo. He's very versatile. That was the main reason why we signed him. And with Nkunku not doing that well and me potentially moving him to striker, Dani Olmo is the perfect replacement. We did also manage to get a few players off the books. Most of these were loans, though. We didn't 100% get the deals that I wanted to get done, but we have shortened the squad a little bit. It's going to be a major window next time out, though, when a lot of the players come back from these loans. Chelsea just have a ridiculous record of just letting so many players go out on loan and having this huge mega squad. I think there is the same amount of players now out on loan as there is in the 25-man squad. But with the window done, let's sim to the end of the season and see if we can improve on 9th place. There we go then, at the end of the first season with Chelsea, and things are not looking so good. Look at the top left-hand side of the screen. I tried to keep this as realistic as possible for the first set of transfer windows, but I have a feeling we haven't done too well. So we did manage to move up the league. We moved all the way up to 6th. I think our poor start to the season really didn't help us, and having 12 draws is just insane. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool are in 8th with 15 draws. Where EA get their simulation from, I have no idea, but it is absolutely horrendous. 6th place isn't too bad. It is European football next season as long as I don't get sacked. And hopefully once I sign these 3 players born in North America, we won't get sacked. In terms of the squad, Nicholas Jackson improved massively. He's gone up to 83. Raheem Sterling is now 85. Madueke is only 80 though. I still feel like the right-hand side might be a problem with us. Alisi's gone up by 1 again, but these two really need to be pushing into the mid-80s now. Enzo Fernandez though has been a baller. He's been a beast. I feel like the squad is very good, and Nkunku is now 88 rated, but with 9 goals and 8 assists, I feel like I just needed a little bit more from him. Here we go then at the start of season number 2, and it looks like signing those North American players just about kept us in a job, but this is the season. This is going to be a massive one. I'm wasting no time in this transfer window at all. Then we're going to bring in the superstar that is Schlotterbeck from Borussia Dortmund, 85 rated. This guy's going to be a beast. As you can already see though, the cutscene's not been fixed yet. We have had a patch, but it has not patched that terrible cutscene. So the first big sale of this rebuild was Bennett Badiashile. I am a huge fan of this man, but he just doesn't get the game time. We've got so many bloody centre-backs right now, all around the same rating, all around the same age, and he's just been the casualty that's left. He's gone to Liverpool. Next up to leave then, in some crazy turn of events, Manchester United have come back and they've taken Romelu Lukaku off our hands. I thought it'd be very difficult to move on with his crazy wage demands, and we actually got about 40 million for him. This is insane, but I'm very happy that we could get this deal done. Right, so I have made a major decision here to let Marc Cucurella leave to Barcelona. He's just not cutting it. He's not good enough to be a Champions League level player for me. I'm going to keep Chilwell around for now and let Cucurella go to Barcelona. One of the main reasons why I was so at ease with letting Cucurella leave is because I had this man already lined up. 105 million he cost, but he is world class. It's Theo Hernandez, 87 overall, and he should push us to the next level. Next big signing for the club was Mikel Moreno. He was going to be out of contract, so we got this one for a steal. It was only 40 million. He's 85 rated, and we just needed a little bit more help in the center of the park. And I think he's going to sit nicely next to Endo Fernandez. And I'm thinking at this stage that might actually be it. We could definitely still improve at right wing. We have Alisi and Madueke, but I feel like let's give him game time, see if they improve. And up top, we could still improve, but Nicholas Jackson hasn't been bad. He's growing really well. And I don't know. I just want to give a little bit of faith to Boniface. Now, if we hit January and it's not working up top, we can change stuff around. But for now, I feel like this will be the squad that we head into the season with. As we start simming, unbeknown to me, terrible news, Moses Caicedo, for some strange reason, has a ridiculous release clause and has gone to Newcastle for 49 million. He's definitely someone now in January we're going to need to replace. So as we come back on the 1st of January, the board seem pretty happy, and we're currently 7th in the Premier League. Not good enough, but better than when we were last season. Now, we know we need another central midfielder, but one of the big questions was, do we need another striker? Nicholas Jackson is now 86 rated with 16 goals this season, but the thing that is the most frustrating is that Nkunku at 90 overall only has 5 assists and 4 goals. It's just not working for it. And although Victor Boniface is improving, I think if we were using him personally, he would improve a lot more, but 5 goals is not enough, so maybe we need a backup striker too. We did also make it through in the Europa League though. We will be taking on Ajax in the first round in the knockouts. We finished 2nd in the group to Sassuolo. But with the results being the way they've been, I decided to make a punt here. We're going to bring in Pedro Gonçalves from Sporting Lisbon. Hopefully he's going to be the spark we need on the right hand side. I noticed that our wingers really weren't bagging goals. Raheem Sterling has been off the pace this season, but it's the right hand side that's been worse off, and this man will suit that position perfectly. Now, I've always been a fan of this man since his time at Monaco, and I've decided to make him a Chelsea player. I think he fits into this squad perfectly. He only cost about 46 million. He'll be a great addition to our midfield after losing Caicedo. Right, so with all those moves made, we are now going to sim to the end of the season. Hopefully, we might win the Europa League, but the most important thing is finish top 4 in the Premier League. Well, we got and done it, haven't we? We've only got ourselves a European final. It's not the European final that we would want in the rebuild, but we have one. And it looks like we impacted a massive positive change with the signings we made, because Chelsea have finished 2nd in the Premier League. I feel like if we'd have had this team from the start of the season, we might have just gone on and won it. Manchester United were top though, with only 4 defeats this season and 6 draws, 90 points. Things you really don't love to see. But now, most importantly, can this Chelsea side that we've built, it's looking pretty damn good, isn't it? I think there's not many changes I make. Maybe a new goalkeeper next season. Maybe just another improvement next to Schlotterbeck. But Fofana isn't bad. Hernandez has gone up to 91. Bloody hell. Let's quick sim this one. Let's see if we can beat Porto to the Europa League trophy. And of course we can. Raheem Sterling, Schlotterbeck has been a superstar this season. And Nkunku finally starting to get goals. We'll see us lift the Europa League trophy. It is going to be nice too, finishing the season, knowing that the board are actually quite happy that I'm employed here. Now, how did the team get on this season? We'll look at the stats. Raheem Sterling in the end being the top goal scorer. Jackson has become an absolute beast at 23. He just looks fantastic. He's gone up to 86 now. I think he'll continue to grow. Raheem Sterling there up to 87. He's in his prime years. Eventually would need to be replaced. But look at this turnaround from Christopher Nkunku. 10 assists and 18 goals. I'm so happy with that. And Pedro G, what a signing. We wanted to improve out wide. I noticed that on the wing, we just weren't getting enough goals, and I felt like that's where we were going to contribute more. 16 goals, 6 assists for Pedro Gonçalves. Definitely the signing of the season. Mikel Moreno as well coming in, being fantastic. Palmer, that was out on loan. Boniface, not the greatest of backups. I still want to use him in a career mode at some point, but probably not the right one for this Chelsea career mode. But with the season done, let's move forward now. Let's get into the 3rd season, which might be the final season as we look to push for the Champions League trophy. Lads, we had to come back. I forgot that this is in the game, because obviously I've not won anything with Tottenham yet, but look at this. We get ourselves a little cheeky bus parade. This is sick. I really like this. It's going to make it more interesting when you end the season, so especially for these rebuilds. Look at all the lads there. Look at the players all celebrating. We have built an absolutely superb Chelsea squad. This side could win the Premier League and the Champions League next season. I wonder if you get 2 bus parades if you win more than 1 trophy. We might find out in this rebuild, but there we go, lads. This is cool. This is a nice new cutscene. I'm not going to get too happy, but I like this. This is fantastic to see. So here we are then, back at the start of season number 3. But this is the insane thing, right? Borussia Dortmund, with Darwin Núñez up top, Borussia Dortmund have gone ahead and won the Champions League. That is just insanity. In the space of 2 seasons. Could you ever imagine that Borussia Dortmund were going to do that? And they just signed Darwin Núñez. Career mode nailed that one. So for the start of season number 3, I don't think we need massive changes. I do think I'm going to get a better goalkeeper. I think we need to take that up a notch, and then a really good centre-back partner for Schlotterbeck. Maybe a little bit more in the rotation, but I think we're pretty good. If I have the money left, although I like Nicholas Jackson, I think we should sign a superstar striker because the board do want us to win the Champions League this season. And I knew just the man for the job to come in at centre-back. It's Alessandro Bastoni, 89 rated overall. He's cost me 120 million. He has got Champions League winner written all over him. I'm so happy to have him in the back line. Next up at a cutthroat deal because he was in the last year of his contract is Mike Mann. What a signing this will be. 89 rated goalkeeper. Again, he has Champions League winner written all over him. His time at Milan is done. He's going to be the Chelsea goalkeeper. I am very excited about that one. That is 2 massive signings, both from the Serie A to start this season off, but they massively improve us. The back line should be solid now, and I think with a few sales, like Kepa's going to be leaving and a couple more players, we might just drum up enough funds to sign a superstar striker. So after selling off a bunch of players, this is the move I want to make. I want to use this guy so much in a career mode this year, but I think in season 3, he stayed at Napoli as well. Victor Osimhen would be the perfect signing to help us win the Champions League. And luckily for us, for 150 million, we should be able to get this deal done. It leaves us absolutely not a penny, but this man is a superstar. But unfortunately for us, we just can't afford the wages of Victor Osimhen. This is a deal I really wanted to get done, but it looks like we might have to look elsewhere for our superstar striker. He just costs a bit too much. Maybe there's somebody else in the team that we could get rid of and move on in order to free up some space to sign him. And I think if anything, we could sell a central midfielder. And I think it's going to have to be Conor Gallagher that's the casualty. Take 2 then. Gallagher's gone. Osimhen's back at the table. And it's 150 million again. So it's the exact same deal in terms of transfer fee. But now we should have more than enough in the budget to meet his demands, which was the problem before. And this is actually the contract he wants. And what's the insane thing here? This is the first time I've ever seen this in FIFA. He wants 8.7 million if he scores 20 goals. Now, I'm going to guarantee that that man scores 20 goals, so he's going to get paid that 8.7 million. But that's a new demand that I've not seen in past FIFAs. Well, FC. Remembering not to call it FIFA is going to be difficult. So, when he comes to sign a contract, there's no face mask. When he comes to join the club, the face mask is back on. I don't know what the reasoning behind that is, but we have a new star striker. And now this is the team that is hopefully going to win us the Champions League this season. We've got 91 Hernandez in there, 90 Nkunku, 91 Osimhen. Maybe I would make some changes to the Mikel Moreno position. Sterling, potentially, he's getting on a little bit, but this squad is unreal. But we're going to have an opportunity to prove ourselves to them straight away at the start of this season because we have the potential to grab a trophy straight away. It's the Super Cup against the Champions League winner, Dortmund. And if we could beat them, that just shows that we're now ready to win the Champions League. And we do. We beat them 3-1. We beat them handily. Pedro G, Enzo, and Sterling. Is that a sign of what's going to happen this season? I'm going to sim forward now, and let's see how we do in the Champions League. I'm intrigued to see what group we get. Here is the Champions League group then. It's going to be Chelsea, Leverkusen, Ajax, and Salzburg. This isn't the easiest Champions League group, and these teams will have improved massively, but it's definitely one I feel like we can get out of. And we did manage to get out of the group comfortably. We won all 6 games to give us 18 points. Leverkusen qualified with only 3 wins, just getting through by the skin of their teeth. We did manage, as expected, to brush aside Sporting, but who are we going to end up playing against next in the Champions League? That's the big question. I'm waiting for the draw to be done, but I'm expecting it to be a much tougher tie. And I was correct, as we're going to come up against Liverpool next in the Champions League. And in the first leg against Liverpool at home, which is the thing to worry about the most, it's only going to be a 1-1 draw. So here we go then, second leg. Can we pull it out the bag at Anfield? It's going to be difficult, but we do. We managed to do it 2-1. Victor Osimhen sending us through to the next round in the 81st minute. That means we're taking on Juve then in a semi with the opportunity to get to the final. We have a better team than Juve. Surely we make it to the final. And we're going to get a win in the first leg. Victor Osimhen coming in clutch again with Miguel Merino. They did get a late goal back though, which will give them hope for the second leg. Time for the second leg against Juve then. And we're at Stamford Bridge. Surely we do not mess this up. And we don't. We win again 2-1, and Nkunku and Pedro G with the goals. We are going to the Champions League final, where we're going to be taking on Benfica of all teams. It'll be Chelsea versus Benfica in the Champions League final. That is insane. We did go on to win the Premier League as well, and you can't believe it, can you? We've spoiled Newcastle's day. We've won the Premier League and stopped them from winning their first on-goal difference. And this is going to be the Benfica team that we're coming up against. Don't get me wrong, there's some really good players in there, but we should be able to beat them. And just for the fun of it, I'm actually going to play this game in the final. I don't think I'll do this for every rebuild, but I do fancy it, and I really want to see how this Chelsea squad is. They should be so fun to play with. This really is David versus Goliath when it comes to these two teams. And I'm super excited. I can already tell by the way that this Chelsea squad is playing that they would have been a really fun career mode side to be in charge of. But there was one thing I will say. The opening scene didn't really have anything. I think at least for a final, like the final of the Champions League, you should at least see the walkout. Tell you what, 20 minutes in and this Benfica team aren't pulling no punches. It's still 0-0. I'm finding it really difficult to break them down. Oh, I could cut that inside. And Nkunku's got the curled shot. I just made the wrong choice. I should have gone beyond another defender. Nkunku trying to play that one into Victor Osimhen. This is the man I want on the ball. Victor Osimhen, top goal scorer this season. He's not going to miss it. It's top bins. Benfica have held out so well, but there we go. 1-0 Chelsea. And it's that man, Victor Osimhen, with a goal. Early now. Moreno. It's found Nkunku. He's another lad who's been brilliant this season. Oh, what a save. We have kept quite a few players from the starting 11. Is that into Victor Osimhen? What a header. We're causing them so many issues from these corners. Osimhen is so dangerous, lads. I think he's 92 rated now, and you can feel it. He's probably the best striker in the world, him and Haaland. Tell you what, I think this is the loudest game I've played this year as well. Like, the crowd is so loud. Who now? Once Victor. Oh, he's found him. Victor Osimhen is just an absolute beast, and no one's ever going to catch him. Victor Osimhen makes it 3-0, and it looks like Chelsea winning the Champions League. And that's how it will end then. 3-0. Victor Osimhen with a brace, and Nkunku bagging a goal. But there we have it. That's actually officially a treble. We won the Premier League, we won the Champions League, and the Super Cup. We are going to call that a treble. Sorry, it was Osimhen with a hat-trick. I thought Nkunku got one. Victor Osimhen got a hat-trick. I said how much I wanted to use this guy on this year's game. I can't wait to use him in a full-fledged series. I might even do a Napoli series just to get to use him. Be prepared. He's going to be bought in probably a lot of rebuilds. For me, he's probably one of the best strikers on the game. I don't know about Haaland. I've not used him yet. But Victor Osimhen is an absolute beast. And at this stage of career mode, 3 seasons in, him being like 92 rated... it's just insane, and he is an absolute joy. But there we go. It's going to be Theo Hernandez. We made him our captain. There is still an issue right now with cutscenes. This is on a PlayStation 5, and we're getting a little... it's a bit choppy. It's choppy for me. It's not just on the recording. It's a bit choppy for me, but there we go. Theo Hernandez lost the Champions League trophy, which will round up a very successful season for Chelsea. And I am expecting, as we advance here, that we get another parade. Now, the question will be... is on this parade, will we have both trophies? I think we do. There we go. You get both trophies. There's the Premier League trophy there and the Champions League trophy. So this is really cool. Don't get me wrong. I think once you've seen this cutscene 100 times, if you do get to be that successful on FC24, then maybe it'll wear thin. But I love new additions like this. I think it's super cool. We've got to have, what, 3 of them since we started this little rebuild that we're doing. by a little rebuild, lads. It's taken 4 hours, so if you are new to the channel, I'd appreciate if you smash subscribe. Hit the like button as well. Let's go through some of the players' stats before we finish this, but look at that. Nkunku lifting the Premier League trophy aloft. That is beautiful. Now, at the end of the season, it's been a race between the two of them. It's going to be Victor Osimhen that has 33 goals, but it's going to be Nkunku that had more goal contribution. He's become one of the best players in the world as well. Osimhen 92, Nkunku 91. These are the kind of players you're going to need in your team to win the Champions League, but 17 assists this season for Nkunku is unbelievable. Pedro G, forgotten son. I mean, he's been great. 24 goals, 9 assists. Raheem Sterling's been consistent across the board. It was nice to keep some of the players that were here at the start, like Raheem Sterling, Enzo Fernandez, and Nkunku. They're still so impactful to this team. We did keep Jackson as well. He was great. Every season, I just felt like we needed that extra player to take us over the line. But 24 and 87 rated, with Victor Osimhen being 27 and 92 rated overall, I mean, Jackson still could be the star striker of the future in this team. But that's going to be where we leave this rebuild, lads. I had a lot of fun. Rebuilds are going to be back on the channel. I've got some ideas of more challenging ones that are going to force us to do certain things. If you've got some ideas of rebuilds, leave them in the comments down below. I would appreciate that greatly. I hope they're going to be successful for the channel. I didn't enjoy them last year because of the objectives, and the objectives is still an issue this year, but it does seem to be a little bit more lenient, which is leaning me towards doing some more of these rebuilds. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for the next one.